Hey there, Smoke Master D coming at you with another video. This time I'm taking a look at a smoker that's just coming out. But first I want to call back to another video that I made. So about over a year ago, the Goldie's pit was coming out. It was a really exciting time because it was such a different conception. But I started looking at some of the other pits that the M&M BBQ Company, who produces the Goldie's pit, was making, and their offset smokers had, a system for evening out the heat in the main chamber that was very different from the Goldie's pit, and I sort of made out that they were holding out on us for making a backyard pit like that. Well, guess what? That pit is now almost here. They're about to release it. I think they may have done a few pre-sales, but in another week or so, hopefully it'll just be available for purchase. It is called the Texas Smoke King, and there is a 100 gallon for $3,995 is going to be the price on that. And then there's a 140 gallon that they don't have a price for yet and won't be available until maybe later. So, just my initial reaction looking to all of the videos they've put on Instagram and the pictures on their website is one, as per usual for this company, all the fit and finish is just right on. The welds, just how everything's crafted just looks really clean and nice, right? They're very professional, very top tier in the way that they make their smokers. Now, there's three features that I find really unique on this pit. Two have to do with the dampers, and then one, the baffling inside. So if we take a look at the dampers, the first thing that we see is the intake damper sort of has this radial fan kind of thing going on. And I do think that they put that on their larger pits, something of that nature. And it looks really cool, right? You just take the fan blades and move them, and then there's those slits for the air to go through. Now, I think that may be more aesthetic than, adding to the function, right? Having that very even airflow, I suppose, is good. There are a lot of pit masters out there, a lot of pit builders too, who believe that opening the door for the air to come into the fire helps with the swirling of the heat going through the chamber. How true is that? How not true is that? I'm not entirely sure, I suppose some scientific testing would have to be done to really ascertain the truth of that. Now, does this very even throughout the whole door airflow help this pit in some way that opening the door wouldn't? I'm not sure. But I do think M&M has sort of a style thing. They're really into style. If you watch their Instagram videos, they always have very stylistic kind of music that goes along with it. So is it just style, or is there some engineering function? I don't know. Now, the exit damper on this stack also has a lot of innovation. When they released the Goldie's pit, they did, the stack cap, that piece of metal, they put some curves in it to show you what percentage was opened or closed for the stack damper. And at the time I thought, wow, that's really innovative. I don't think anybody else does that. But they've taken it one step further, and this may be also something that they do on their larger pits. But they have a handle that you raise, and it's got a little pin, and there's a little table of holes, and you can drop the pin through whichever one, and that will tell you how far open you have that stack damper. Is that entirely necessary? No, but is it really cool? And I think that it is great in the sense that you're going to have something that's going to tell you exactly how far open you have the damper. It's always the same, so getting consistency on that stack damper placement could be a really good thing for your cooking. Necessary? No, but nice? Certainly. And then there's the thing that really made me want to see this pit in the first place, and that is the baffling, right? So this baffling is very different from other baffling, but it is a variation on the scoop baffle, right? So if you take a look at some of these pictures, you're going to see that there's a plate here, just like a scoop baffle, and then, you know, the heat comes out. What they've done pretty differently is, one, they have another plate down here for heat to go out. So there's this plate, the heat's going out under and over, and they also have a hood over where it goes out at the top. Now, this hood is very important, and you'll see similar sort of things on the Aaron Franklin pit and the mill scale pit. They have this plate here on those. This one's a little bit more angled, but the idea is, you know, you have this high pressure air coming through here, and then you have a low pressure area above, so it's going to curl back into the low pressure area and create the swirling that you want for the heat and air throughout the chamber to give it really good even heat and smoke. And you want the, you know, the smoke to swirl in order to get around the meat. So that is pretty cool. You know, is it coming and swirling here for a low pressure area to come up and around? You know, with Jeremy Yoder's, there's those holes to make it so that the heat is there right next to where the plate is shooting the air up. Is this downward plate doing the same sort of thing to help heat come back here? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure exactly how it works, but that's my conception of it. And you know, you see the pictures that they have on their Instagram and their videos of them. They have briskets all the way up to sort of that plate there. And that gives me hope that we're going to have some really even cooking on this pit. Now, once it gets out there in the world, I'd love to see a nice biscuit video on it, a biscuit cook, just to see exactly how evenly it cooks, you know. That is the true test, so we're going to have to wait for that, or maybe the M&M company will do it themselves. Now, the price on this thing is, like I said before, $39.95, which is about $255 cheaper than the Goldie's pit. Their grates are the same dimensions, okay? So exactly the same amount of space, but $255 cheaper. So the question then becomes, is it worth it to get the Goldie's pit if you can have the Texas Smoke King for less, right? And what we already know about the Goldie's pit is that right where that metal tube comes in, there is a hot spot there. If that hot spot doesn't exist on the Texas Smoke King, is that better, right? The other thing we know about the Goldie's pit is that that tube makes it so that there's almost no radiant heat coming into the chamber, right? So then the question becomes, in this Texas Smoke King with the plate there, is it blocking the radiant heat that would make, you know, the cooking in the chamber affected, especially closer to the firebox, right? Now, if you have a steel plate, it's going to take in that radiation, and usually it's going to come back out. So there's a possibility that it may still be slightly hotter right near the firebox. How is that entirely true? Is it not true? I'm not sure. You know, one way they could fix that is having a double wall right there for their upward plate. Did they do that? Did they not do that? I don't know. So, like I said, I am looking forward to tests on this pit just to see how well it performs. I think it's going to perform really well, but is it going to be that much better than the Goldie's pit is the real question. Is this it? Have we finally reached the zenith of offset smoker innovation and engineering with this backyard pit, right? That's the question that we're trying to answer. You know, and does it matter, really? A lot of people like their pits that aren't entirely evenly heated. You know, they make make those zones work for them. But it's always been sort of what we've been shooting for. So I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. And I look forward to seeing more from this offset smoker, the Texas Smoke King, in the future. That's all for this first look at it. You know, as always, y'all, go get your smoke on.